Hey everybody, welcome back to Loser Talk. This is the Week 2 recap. So let me get on my gambling hat and let's get these research glasses over here and let's see how we did. Now, we started off on Thursday. We had the Steelers at +2.5 over the Ravens. The Ravens won that game. They took care of business 26-6 at home. Next up, we had the Panthers. Now the Panthers were 2.5-point favorites over the Lions, and the Panthers took care of business in a big way. The Panthers showed me they might have the best defense in the NFL, and I do mean better than Seattle and Arizona right now, and also those pesky Texans. The Bills were 1.5-point underdogs to the Dolphins, and the Bills took care of business. They won that game 29-10. The Redskins were 6.5-point favorites over the Jags, and the Redskins won that one 41-10. That was a winner for us. We picked the Cowboys at +3.5 over the Titans, and the Cowboys went on the road as an underdog, took care of business with a better defense, which I said they were playing, and a strong run game. The Cardinals, they went on the road to the Giants, and they were 2.5-point favorites, and they did not disappoint. We picked the Cardinals, and then the Patriots were 3.5-point favorites over the Vikings. The Vikings had to sit Adrian Peterson, so we made the switch. We took the Patriots, and the Patriots dominated them. All right, now, here's a game I was surprised at. The Saints, and even though it was on the road, the Saints were 6.5-point favorites over the Browns, and the Browns ended up winning that game 26-24, and I will not sleep on the Browns. That would have been the second time they would have covered at 6.5-point underdogs. The Falcons were 5.5-point underdogs to the Bengals. I thought the Falcons would do a little bit better and be able to cover that, being given 5.5 points. But they got beat by the Bengals 24-10. The Bucks, we are willing to get off the Bucks bandwagon. The Bucks were 5.5-point favorites over the Rams. The Rams had a third-string quarterback starting, and the Bucks still couldn't get that win. So I am off the Bucks bandwagon. I give it up in week 2. I'm willing to say I was wrong about the Bucks. There you go. Now, the Chargers and the Seahawks. Now, we picked the Seahawks at 5.5-point favorites because they were coming off of 10 days rest, and the Chargers were only coming off 6 days rest. But I did tell you that this is a game I normally would have picked the Chargers to win. But since I didn't, I went with the Seahawks. I took the loss, and there it is. The Texans. Now, we picked the Raiders at 2.5-point favorites at home. And I really thought the Raiders would be able to deal with the Texans. But watching the Texans play 2 weeks in a row now, they have their front seven was already good. But their back end is playing good defense. Even when you complete a pass on them, they stripping the ball. They made 4 more turnovers. I mean, the Texans are playing good defense. They are a pesky team. You got to be careful betting against them. Next up, we picked the Packers at 8.5-point favorites over the Jets. And the Jets came into Green Bay. They jumped all over the Pack early. They were up 17-3. The Packers won the game, which we knew they would, but they did not cover the 8.5. They had to cover, so we took a loss there. The Broncos were 13.5-point favorites over the Chiefs. The Chiefs, they covered that game, and that was my fault. I know better than to pick double-digit favorites. I don't know why I did that. So I took the loss there. The 49ers, they're 6.5-point favorites over the Bears. They go into halftime up 17-3, and then Colin Kaepernick comes out in the second half and throws interceptions to as many Bears as he can find. Colin Kaepernick might be overrated because he only does well against the Packers. That's the only team you see him dominate. Other than that, it's a struggle. Anyway, the Bears won that game 28-20, and we lost that game because the 49ers didn't cover 6.5. They didn't even win the game. And then on Monday night, we took the over on this game, okay? But the Colts were favorite at 3.5 over the Eagles. But I told you I was going to take the over on this game. And then the refs saw that I was having a rough week, and they cheated for the Eagles. They took the ball away from the Colts on a holding penalty that they didn't call, and then called a BS horse collar penalty, gave the Eagles the ball back. Eagles scored a touchdown, took the score to 57, and bang, I covered the over, which was 54.5. So that was a winner for me because this show is still about picking winners and gambling. So, there you go. I went 7-9. That wasn't good, but overall, I am at 16-16 against the spread, and just picking plain out winners, I'm 22-10. All right, next up, we're gonna do the Thursday night game real quick, and that is the Falcons at home against the Buccaneers. The Falcons are 6.5-point favorites over the Bucs. I'm gonna take the Falcons. Of course, I'm off the Buccaneers bandwagon, and this is a loser talk, and I hope you enjoyed the recap. See you next week.